Alright, so I'm waiting for my train right now, and while I'm waiting, I figured I would share a bit of some tips for maintaining work-life balance as a medical student. And my first tip is to take advantage of pockets of time that you have during your day. So for me, especially this week, I'm gonna be going back to CU 5 days a week, which actually rarely happens. Like Monday through Friday, I'm gonna be going back every single day. And because I live kind of far, I'm gonna be losing time on my commute, which is why I take advantage of my commute time, which for me is my essential pocket of time to do my Anki cards. So today, on my way going there and also on the way coming back, I spent a good amount of time flipping through the Anki cards I made yesterday on the head and neck anatomy lectures and also on the endocrine lecture for the hypothalamus and pituitary. So I'm basically done with those cards now. And that means that when I get home, I don't actually have to do any more studying related to doing Anki reviews. At most, I'll probably make new cards for another anatomy lecture, or maybe I'll make new cards for the respiratory lectures, but that's about it. And it's so helpful to take advantage of these pockets of times, and you have them throughout your day. If you look carefully, they can just be 15 or 30 minutes. They don't have to be a super long stretch of time. Just 15 or 30 minutes is enough for you to get a bit of work done here and there. And because you can't do anything else during that time, if you don't spend it productively, that's time that's going to be wasted. And if you're specifically interested in how to make your commute times productive, I do have a video on how I make commuting productive. So for me, it's mainly doing Anki cards, but sometimes you can spend that time doing something else. You could be reading on your Kindle, you could be listening to an audiobook. There's a lot of stuff you can do during your commute time to make it more productive. So yeah, check out that video for some more information on that. Something else I would also recommend is for you to really plan ahead. And this is gonna sound simple, but planning ahead and putting some thought into what your week is gonna look like is going to help you a lot and do you a lot of favors if you're trying to get a good work-life balance. So for example, yesterday was Sunday. So I spent Sunday making a bunch of new cards on neck anatomy and also endocrine. And these are cards that I could study during my commute because I knew I would be going to class 5 days a week and I would have a lot of time spent on the MTR. Okay, so I'm back home now. I tried to get some sleep and nap, but that didn't work. So I'm gonna be working on some Anki now. And before I go into more tips about work-life balance, I do want to caveat this video by saying that I by no means have the perfect work-life balance. These are just some things that have been working for me, so I figured I would share them, see if they work for you too. But I do not have a perfect life. I do not have everything in perfect balance, but this is just what's been working for me. Okay, so my next piece of advice is to automate your life. And I do this in two ways. Number one is by automating what time I will study. Back before school started, over the summer, what I would do is from 10 until 12 was my Anki time. So when I saw that it was 10 o'clock, I didn't really have to think about what I was going to do with that period of time. I knew that that time was for doing Anki reviews. And something that I've also started incorporating towards the latter end of my summer break, and I've been doing it even as school started, is exercising first thing in the morning. I find that for one, exercising in the morning makes me feel more productive, and it actually energizes me, which at first, I've heard it a lot before that exercising gives you more energy, but I didn't really buy into that because it didn't make sense to me. How does exercising, which uses up energy, makes you feel more energized? But it actually works. It's crazy. And I find that working out in the morning, I just do regular a bit of strength training at home with a workout video. Just doing a bit of that makes me feel more energized. Today before I left for school, I woke up early around 7ish, and I did 30 minutes of exercise, and I actually don't feel that tired even after exercising, and I feel really energized throughout the day. It doesn't tire me out, and I just feel great. So exercising is something that I also automate. Something that Cal Newport mentions in his book How to Be a Straight A Student is to set aside 1 hour every single day of your work day, or of your work week basically, and do the same task every single hour. So say you're always going to be from 4 to 5 p.m. Then that hour from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you always spend doing the same day. Maybe it's you always spend that hour working on history readings. Previously, before school started, for me, it was from 10 to 12. Those were the 2 hours I would consistently use for Anki. But now that school has started, I need to slightly tweak my schedule, and I would think that what I'll do is like, for specific days, it will be, say, like, for Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Those days, I likely have class in the morning, but my afternoons are generally free. So from 4 to 5 or from 5 to 6, that will be the hour I spend making new Anki cards, because that is my main priority right now. It's making new cards for lectures. Try to find that 1 hour that will always be protected, ideally in the morning or early afternoon when you're still energized. And you want to have that protected hour spent doing the same task or the same general task for a specific class. This builds a habit of working during that time slot, and it gets a lot of stuff done because you're doing a bit every single day, and it really helps you make progress. Alright, so I'm almost done eating. The bean sprouts here were spicy, so I ended up getting 2 cups of water to just wash the spiciness off, because I can't do spicy. And then the celery chicken was okay. So yeah, this lunch, I would get it again. It was not that expensive, like 20 something, 30 something dollars, which is pretty cheap. Then I also have blueberries I brought from home. So this is a nice fruit after eating lunch. Alright, dropped off my food. Time to head home. It's like around 2:17 right now. Okay, so it'll be past 3 by the time I get home. Hopefully I can get some more stuff done, and I'll aim to finish up some Anki reviews while I'm on the MTR. I'm back on campus, and right now I'm heading to walk over to the piano room that I have booked for today. Alright, so the audio for this clip kind of got messed up because the background noise was way too loud. But in general, I think that one thing I've found to be very helpful for both my productivity and just general having some kind of balance in life is booking time in for play or just some kind of external hobby, because by having this time booked in, I know that this time is protected and I can't use it for studying. So it's basically like Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time allotted, and if there's less time allotted, I'll naturally work more efficiently. Having some kind of hobby to look forward to is also just really nice because it's a good way for me to relax, and that way my mind isn't constantly thinking about the fact that, oh, I need to be studying. It's a good reward for myself, and it's something else that I can focus on. One thing that I especially like about piano is that it's a lot about, like, I can't say it's mindless because I have to practice deliberately, but it requires less mental, like, cognitive thinking, I guess. And it's more about focusing on perfecting, like, my fingering and perfecting that one measure of the piece and just slowly working on that. Alright, so I'm in here now. Time to start practicing piano right there. Good morning. It's another day of going to class, and today it's kind of rainy, but it stopped raining after I took the bus up to the main campus. Like, it was raining down at the MTR station, but it stopped once the bus came up to BSMB. So that makes me pretty happy because it means I don't have to open my umbrella again. This morning I had a tutorial on pneumothorax, and then afterwards I have a piano room booked, so I'm gonna practice a bit piano before heading back home. Alright, so I'm back in the piano room. Class overran a bit, so I'll probably only get around 1 hour of actual practicing time, but that's fine. I find that when I practice under a time crunch, I actually practice a lot more efficiently and more deliberately. So let's see how much progress I make today. Alright, now I'm at the CC Divinity School. We have an assembly that I had to attend. So I'm just here listening to, there's a speaker talking about architecture in Hong Kong. Alright, I finished assembly and it let out early, so got lunch. 2 dishes and rice, it's $30. This is like tomato and eggs. I don't know, tomatoes kind of look questionable here. And then this is just spare ribs, so let's see how it tastes. So my last tip is for just organizing your life in general, and that's having a good capture system. For me, what this means is having a note open on my notes app using my iPhone or when I'm using my Mac, and on that note I just title it things to remember, and I will write down anything that pops up in my mind throughout the day that's like something small that I need to get done, like scanning pictures of the pneumothorax tutorial slides onto my notes. It's like these things I need to write down because I'll think of it in the moment, but oftentimes I'll forget about it like a few minutes after. It's super easy, just do it in an easily accessible notes app or do it on a scrap sheet of paper. Just have that every single day, and at the end of the day, go through that list, see if there's anything that you can do super quickly and get that done at the end of your day, or move that onto a file where you have a list of all the little small tasks that you need to do. These things, put them where they belong, schedule them if you need to, put it in your calendar if you need to, write it down for a later batch day if you need to, but just having something to first capture your task and capture the things that come to mind throughout the day is very helpful because that clears up your mind so that there's not something constantly kind of slightly distracting you and taking away some of your mental energy, but it's not really going to help you by just thinking about it. To recap and sum it up, number 1, have and find pockets of time that you do have. Number 2 is to plan ahead. Number 3 is to automate your life. Number 4 is to have a daily hour. Number 5 is to schedule in playtime to help you relax. And lastly, it's to have a good capture system. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other videos linked here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!